Hello, my name is Aprillia Suryana. Let's do the number 2163. Today I'm going to do my midterm test to make a debate with a motion. We will let the government fully own and manage all public transport in Indonesia. First is opens the affirmative team. In this era, transportation is very crucial. To be able to move to one place to another, we need a transportation to make it fast. But for most people, it will not be uh, possible to have a personal transportation, which is why there is a public transport. We, the affirmative team, will would let the government to manage to own and manage all public transport in Indonesia in order to address all the current inadequacy of the public transport that we have today, which is inaccessibility and equity, which is there is no accessibility in the remote area, and for it to be affordable to all people. I'm the opposition team. Do you all have I want to ask first. Do you all have the feeling of arriving early but only to arrive late because of the public transportation that supposed to come uh, at that time doesn't come at that time but very late. In some cases it was okay to be late, but people who do need to come early to work have to be there will be punishment for them, such as pay cut, which is a bad thing for people's. This inadequacy of public transportation managed of managed by the government. Most issue came from the arrival timing that cannot be can be come can be can be crucial because people need to be there at the right time. The issue is the inefficiency and the inefficiency of time management in the public transport. We, the opposing team, will not let the government to fully own and manage other public transportation in Indonesia, as it is in our right to have a job, particularly particularly the side hustle of ojek as a driver in public transport. So we propose to the government that we should make a cooperation with the current private company. We affirmative team knows that there is a lot of concern about time management in public transport. And also there is also the difficulties right now that will be addressed will be addressed if our motions were legally um, happening. We wanted to be able, everyone to be able to access our public transport without the current drawbacks. But we need to remind that the current public transport that owned by private company are not, unfortunately, not very affordable to all of the people in a remote area. People in the remote areas really need, may not really need it to move to one place another. Well, certain range at least don't need that transportation. But once they need to move one place to another, that is a very long range. They need a transportation. In the remote area, little we, not all the population there have transportation. So they, so the one that have the transportation may have to land it, which is their first concern, which is why we want it to be able accessible to all. Oh, we we as common people understood that the government wants to make it easy for us, the people can be to have, we the people can have all of it. But when not using a cooperation of between government and the current private company that have a public transportation, it is need to be remind you that we need to remind you that if the current private company that owns it are not allowed to have to go with the business, it will be quite very bad thing. If a company suddenly stops working, the people in that company, especially those work as like a Gojek, like say there is a part-time people, a part drivers needs those job. For it is some of them use use it not as a part-time job but their full job, which if there it is gone and the next public transportation happen, mm, they just say the legal public transportation managed by the government don't come at the don't in vacancy for a few months, it would be a bad thing for the driver, as it is their way of living, the way they, the income comes from. So it is bad thing, which why we want that the government wants to cooperation with the companies rather than just make it their own. In conclusion, both teams agreed, at least agree to the involvement of government in public transport. But the opposition teams wants the opposition teams wants it to be able to connect the current status status of the public transport now to the later public transport status. On the other hand, the affirmative team wants to address all the current issue that around the public transport, such as management time management of the arrival and the departing of the public transport itself. Both have raised a common question, which is time manageable, and how it is con- how it is considered. Agree that time is very important.